October 15th, man. You're back at the Apex facing Brendan Davis. Your last fight, you were in this huge arena, crowd. It was nuts. Does it kind of suck being back at the Apex?
No, I'm just excited to get back in there. I'm really happy to get another opportunity, especially before the year ends. And I kind of have come to enjoy fighting in the Apex. My first time with Contender Series, I did not like it at all. But my debut, going all 15 minutes in there, and getting that real intense feeling. I really enjoyed it. I like this. So not saying I want to be in this fight for another 15 minutes, but I don't mind it one bit. I'm just very blessed and happy to get back in there.
When you look at the last fight week in Houston, I believe, right? It was Houston, right? Am I
Yes,
right?
sir.
Your hometown. That whole fight week. When you look back at it now, it must have been insane. You know what I mean? Because everybody's there. All your people is there. Everybody's there. There's just support is crazy. How was that for you?
It was different. I want to say I think I maybe got a little bit too relaxed during that fight week. If I'm being honest, growing up, the whole regional scene throughout my career, I fought there, so it was just another day in the office, pretty much. But I remember clear as day, like, I was late to some media stuff just because, I'm like, I'm home. I could just drive there. I didn't stay at the hotel. I was comfortable at my house. And even fight day, dude, I missed my shuttle to the stadium or to the arena, Toyota Center, whatever you want to call it. And UFC's calling me like, "Oh, your shuttle left at 4 o'clock. You were supposed to be here." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm stuck in Houston traffic." And I just got too relaxed, I guess you could say. So maybe it was a little bit hectic as well, but it's all right. Lesson learned. Don't get too comfortable, but it was overall a great experience. And if I get offered to fight in my hometown again, I'll do it, man.
For sure, man. And the fight, the Ronnie Lawrence fight, high level opponent. Started to have success in that third round. You hurt him to the body. Looking back at that, was that last round a telling tale of like what's to come from you in the future?
For sure, for sure. That's a telling, yeah, it's a telling tale. Just and it goes to show what happens when I imply my game plan. First two rounds I was too worried about his, and I was worried about him shooting in, which obviously he did, and he mixed up his hands very well. So a very good strategy from him. But third round, when I decided to do what I wanted to do and play out the fight how I wanted it to, I stuffed his shot, landed a beautiful spin back fist, dropped him, then another shot dropped him. And,
Mhm.
even when he took me down, I threw up a triangle into an arm bar. I made it a real scrappy dogfight. And I think had I done that for the first two rounds, it would have played out a whole lot different. And lesson learned, it's all right. You live and learn in this fight game. And October 15th, those adjustments will be made. So no worries on that end. But yeah, props to Ronnie Lawrence, man. He was definitely game and came in there with a solid strategy.
Now you go from Ronnie Lawrence to Brendan Davis. I feel completely different styles, but this style is more of a fun matchup for the fans. How do you see it?
Everybody keeps saying that. It's potentially the fight of the night. And no, but yeah, it could definitely be fight of the night. I don't plan on it going all 15 minutes, but if it does, I'll be ready. As much as I would like to think that he's gonna be down to stand in there and kickbox with me or make it a stand up game, I feel like anybody I fight, even him, they're most likely gonna try and shoot in, wrestle, fit in on me. So I got to be prepared for that. If not, and he wants to make it a stand up toe to toe fight, I'm more than happy to welcome him to that game, and I'm good for it. But I'll be ready for anything come October 15th.
Yeah, Davis, he returned to the UFC about a year ago, and he was finished. He was stopped in his fight. How did he look to you before he was stopped?
I mean, the whole fight, he kind of looked like he didn't know how to deal with the pressure from his opponent. He was kind of fighting on his back foot the whole time, and I don't know if that was a little bit of a linger injury because I noticed he had a knee sleeve on, so maybe he wasn't able to quite move the way he wanted to. whether it was forward or laterally. But yeah, it looked like he didn't really deal with that pressure well. And if I happen to put that pressure on him, I don't know if he'll deal with it well, or anyway, I decide to dictate or pace this fight. I feel like it's not gonna matter because ultimately I'm gonna get my hand raised, and there's not much to take away from it. It didn't really last too long, but I've been studying, watching his old fights, picking up on habits that he has throughout the later rounds and throughout midway through the first round. So I'll be ready for anything Brandon Davis brings, but I will definitely be expecting, a fit in or a takedown attempt. So
Of
I'll
course.
be prepared.
You speak of the knee sleeve. Brandon Davis, I spoke to him earlier, and he told me that he had an ACL tear for like a few years heading
Mm,
into that fight, which is
yeah,
crazy, and then he got surgery
makes
afterwards.
sense. See, I had
Yeah.
no clue. I had no clue of that, but I could just tell, something was bothering him. But if he got the surgery, that's awesome. Maybe a new Brandon Davis comes October 15th, but there's gonna be a new Mana as well. So it'll be who's the best of the best that night.
Oh, for sure. You and Davis, man, you guys are very talented strikers, but different types of strikers. What separates you from him?
I've got a lot of tricks up my sleeve. I haven't quite showcased these past two fights what I'm truly capable of, and it's upsetting on my end. But reflecting and looking back, it's a good thing in the long run, because not everyone knows what I can throw, or what I have up my sleeve, and there's plenty of arsenal in my skill set that people have yet to see. That spin back fist I landed my last fight was just something I've always done, and I decided to pull it out just a little bit too late in that fight. Man, I get aggravated thinking about it every time. But yeah, I've got a lot of more tricks up my sleeve. He thinks he's probably got better cardio than me, but this camp I've amped my cardio up, man. Done numerous new drills, and my cardio will be up to par no matter what. So it's it's gonna be a tricky situation for him, I feel like.
And you moved full time over to Glory MMA. Of course, James Krause is a phenomenal coach, and there's a gang of training partners that will benefit you. But what else? What else made you commit to the team?
I felt like it was just time for me to man up. I moved out here permanently, got my own house out here, and it's kind of molded me to even more of a man than I already was. It's not only helped me out physically but mentally as well. I mean, being back at home and kind of stuck in my old ways, breaking out of bad habits. I've done all that while I'm out here, and being with this new team, man, and there's a super healthy level of competition on the mats day in and day out. Regional guys that are trying to make it to the level we're at, guys that are at the same level I'm at, trying to climb up the rankings. It's a beautiful sight to see, walking in the gym every day. Guys already getting to work, staying after class working. So little bit of everything, kind of helped me and move me out here permanently. But I'm very thankful for James Cross and his whole team out here.
A healthy level of competition, man. I feel like that. Some gyms don't have that. Their competition level is like not so healthy, right? I'm not saying any particular gym, but there are gyms out there. How important is that for you, man, to have that like environment?
It's very important, John. Man, I feel like you know it's something that you've got to have, because that's your job, training every day, and you want to have good coworkers around you. That's technically who these guys are, is your coworkers, on the mats, including the UFC. But you got to fight those coworkers,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But it's very important, and the training partners over here want to see what's best for you. Every day, man. There's guys, that are always trying to help me after class. Hey, you should work on this takedown defense, or hey, when you throw this, you should throw it this way. So I'm super thankful for them, man. And yeah, it's a healthy level of competition. That's the best way of putting it, man. And these guys just want to see what's best for you.
What changes, and you mentioned breaking out of bad habits. What good habits have you created for yourself?
Man, numerous good habits. I started reading a lot. I'm on my third book this camp. I started to finish them throughout this whole camp, which has kind of been a long camp, but it's awesome to read. Self meditation, as weird and crazy as it sounds, just breathing exercises, breathing techniques, stuff that I've never done in the past before or even thought about. But it was something my dad always, bothered me with. Not bothered me, but would call me, hey, you should try this, hey, you should do this. And being out here on my own, all I have is time. And so I was like, I might as well give it a shot. And meditating every day, practicing breathing exercises, techniques, going back to old drills that helped me get to where I'm at now. It's all just come together and come full circle. So it's real good habits. And man, I love the lifestyle that I'm living now. I can truly say that I'm true martial artist, as I've always been. Kind of maybe steered away from it at times back at home, but there's nothing to do out here but grind in Missouri, man.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of your dad, man, I know he's in your corner. He's been supporting you forever. When you told him like, "Yo, I'm gonna move out of state," what was his reaction to that?
He was kind of the one pushing for me.
Oh, okay.
He was the one. Hey, when you're gonna head out there, hey, talk to James. Said, hey, like, he was really the one, trying to not get me out the door, but get me out the door, I guess you could say. And I was gonna miss my family. That's the main thing. So that's why I was kind of prolonging it and kind of walking around it. But finally, I just one day I was like, packed up everything in the car, and I was like, getting out of here. It's like, that's good for you. That's what you need, man. And it truly has been one of the best things for my career so far. And come October 15th, everybody's gonna be able to tell that difference, and it's gonna be a whole new level of Mana in there.
Yeah, man. Davis, he comes to throw heavy. You're known to do the same thing. How do you see this fight playing out?
I see it, of course, me getting my hand raised, but in a very dominant fashion, and having a breakout performance, putting the whole division on notice. I know these last two fights, I promise you, they have not, displayed 5-10% of my game. I've still got a whole new level to show, and it's definitely going to be able to be showcased October 15th. And you could just tell by the way I'm confidently speaking that all this work has been put in, and there's no shine or no backing down for me anymore. I'm ready to go and stamp my mark in this bantamweight division and put everyone on notice.
Yeah, man. This bantamweight division is it's heavy, man. It's crazy, man. It's the best division in the UFC, and being
I
a part of it
promise.
says something about you as a fighter.
Yes, sir.
One last topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a very, very, very stacked division. But I didn't come this far just to be another guy. I came this far to be the best, and I got to work my way up there. It's part of the rankings, part of the grind. But this lifestyle change, identity change of mine is gonna be a scary thing to see from here on out with all my fights.
One last topic, man. I want to pick your brain about is, of course, the title fight in your division. You got TJ Dillashaw challenging Aljamain Sterling. What do you see, man? Do you feel like TJ Dillashaw is the same TJ Dillashaw that we saw when he was the champ, or is he a different animal, or is he lesser? What do you see in him?
So when I seen him fight Sanhagen, he had that little bit of a layoff or whatever, and I thought he was gonna go in there and Sanhagen was gonna clean him. As you could tell, Sanhagen's no joke, bro. You seen what he just did a couple weekends ago? Nasty elbows, dude's just sharp sniper, man. So when he went all five, and almost kind of, I guess you could say, put it to Sanhagen, because he did get his hand raised. I was very impressed, but like my coach James Cross has said over here, if Aljo gets him to the ground and ultimately takes him back, there's going to be problems. But I don't know if I see it. I'm really leaning towards Dillashaw, and I don't know. It's kind of a coin flip, but
Yeah.
it's I don't know. It's gonna be a good fight. I can't wait, but We'll see, man. But I'm leaning Dillashaw.
Yeah, he has the wrestling, man.
He
That's a
does.
huge key factor, you know. Can he even take him to the ground? That's the question. You know,
Yep,
that's the big question.
exactly. You know, he had that team alpha male background with wrestling, and yeah. So we'll see if Aljo can get him down there. And man, TJ's feints, you know, some of his striking setups are so beautiful. So if Aljo's, you know, had the right training partners, or, you know, been working and really studying, you know, TJ's game, maybe he will be able to time a takedown and get him down. But man, TJ's stand-ups is, you know, art. It's beautiful the way he sets up everything. So it's a coin flip, but I lean TJ.
All right, man. October 15th, UFC Fight Night in Las Vegas. Mana, I always appreciate the time, man. All the best in the fight. And hopefully, man, we might do another one of these before the end of the year.
For sure, yes, I'm telling you. So there's no breaks after this fight. I get in there, cash in, cash out, and I'll run another two before the end of the year. So we'll definitely be talking again, John.